heat and mass transfer, and kinematics of machinery. We will warm welcome to Dr. S. Thirinjanu, and also our faculty members and senior faculty members, and also our chief guest and guest speaker of today FTP, Dr. Sandhanam sir, professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, KSR Institute of Technology. We warm welcome to the Dr. K. Sandhanam sir on behalf of head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering. He working as from start the career from the KSR College of Technology, and still now he is presently working also in the KSR. So the entire teaching experience is the one colleges of KSR Rangasamy College of Technology, and also he is the alumni of the same college. Sir, we warm welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Let me start the program, sir.
Sure. Okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Visible, sir.
Thank you, sir. I thank the management and principal and head of the Department of SRM College for providing me this opportunity in 6 days FTP program. So today I was given a topic on kinematics of linkage mechanism. So in that we have so displacement, velocity and acceleration analysis of simple mechanisms. So this displacement, velocity and acceleration we can solve with the use of graphical method. So in that we have velocity and acceleration polygon where we have to draw the velocity and acceleration polygon. This method is based on the two methods. So first one is relative velocity method, and another one method is your instantaneous center method. Then velocity analysis using instantaneous center, this is the second method. Then kinematic analysis of simple mechanism. So kinematic analysis is nothing but we have to find out the displacement, velocity and acceleration. So already we know that kinematics means we have to study the kinematic parameters, which is nothing but your displacement, velocity and acceleration. So what is the need of studying the kinematic analysis for a simple or any complex mechanism? So we have to find out the acceleration. So you know acceleration, according to Newton's second law, F is proportional to or equal to m into a. So this force which causes the motion, or the force, external force acting on a body, which is used to convert the static motion into a dynamic, or static particle into a dynamic particle or dynamic motion, we need an acceleration. So in dynamics of machinery we are going to deal with the forces. These forces are arise due to the inertia effect. So that acceleration where we are calculating in kinematic analysis used to calculate the forces acting on a mechanism. So for the supporting of dynamics of machinery we have to calculate the forces. So for that forces we need acceleration. So for that acceleration we have to determine from the kinematics. So next one is coincident point, which is nothing but a simple, if you take a slider crank mechanism, if a slider is fixed, for example this slider is fixed, for example if we take a piston and cylinder arrangement, the piston is fixed, right, it will have only reciprocating motion inside the cylinder, but in some cases the slider will have a rotary motion and also reciprocating motion on a mechanism. So that mechanisms are called quick return mechanisms. If you see in quick return mechanism, especially crank and slaughter link mechanism, we are having a slider like this, So this is your slider, and the crank will rotate, the slider will slides on the slotted link. We will see that in our next example. So whenever a point on a link which is sliding and also rotating, for that point, those points are called as coincident points. So for these coincident points, we have to calculate the Coriolis component of acceleration. So that is the syllabus. The next one, introduction to linkage synthesis. So linkage synthesis is nothing but we have to find out the dimensions of the linkages. As far as kinematic machinery is concerned, the linkage synthesis means we have to find out the dimensions of each and every link. So we will see one by one. So these are the two methods where we are going to find out the velocity. So first one is relative velocity method based upon the relative velocity of various points of a link. For example, if I am going to take a link like this, so this is my point A and this is my point B. Here the relative velocity of A with respect to B or B with respect to A, I have to calculate for each and every link in a mechanism. So that method is called as relative velocity method. The second one method is instantaneous center method. Instantaneous center is nothing but for every motion or every rotating motion we have a center. But as a whole, if you are considering for a mechanism as a whole, we will having a common rotating center. So the center will be behaving time to time. So that instantaneous center is nothing but it's not a fixed one. We are having three types of instantaneous center. One is fixed instantaneous center, and another is permanent instantaneous center, and third one is neither fixed nor permanent. So each and every cases we have to consider the instantaneous center method. So this method has a drawback where we have used only for velocity calculation. So we can find out only velocity only. But relative velocity method we can go for velocity and acceleration. For both the cases we can go with relative velocity method. So instantaneous method only used for calculating the velocity, and also it is very simple for calculation is very simple for a simple mechanism. If you go for a compound mechanism, it is somewhat difficult. The complexity of the problem will high. So second one is analytical method where we are going to use simple formulas. So we have to calculate the displacement of the piston and velocity of the piston and acceleration of the piston. So by using the numerical formula, so it is very limited analytical method. So here in this chapter we are having the graphical method of solving the velocity problems, right. So this is general outline in relative velocity method. First of all, we have to draw the space diagram or configuration diagram, which is nothing but a diagram which consists of all the links and their direction and their angle. So if it is given in our given data, we can draw. Otherwise, we have to imagine the whether the given diagram is for slider crank mechanism or 4-bar mechanism. So we have to imagine that and we have to draw the diagram. Then we have to calculate the angular velocity and linear velocity of the input link. So then we have to calculate the velocity of the input link. Then we have to draw the velocity diagram or velocity polygon with the proper scale factor. So we know the velocity unit will be meter per second, but in our diagram we have to calculate by using our centimeter scale. So we have to convert the meter per second into centimeter for our polygon purpose. Then we have to, from this diagram we need to calculate the linear and angular velocity of the different links in a given mechanism. Right. So from a velocity diagram, we have to find out the linear and angular velocity of unknown links. Then we have to find out the radial and the tangential acceleration from the velocity diagram. Then after that, we have to draw the acceleration diagram. So we have to draw space diagram and we have to draw velocity diagram for calculating the velocity. If you are want to calculate the acceleration, and we have to draw another one more diagram which is known as acceleration diagram. So this is the simple outline. So this is your relative velocity method. So for example, this is our link AB, so which is rotating in clockwise direction. The velocity of the link always acting perpendicular to the link. So always the linear velocity will be acting perpendicular to the link. For relative velocity method, we have to draw perpendicular line for the velocity. So this is your formula for calculating the velocity. Velocity of BA is equal to, this is your vector AB. So nothing but we have to draw the diagram like this. So the perpendicular direction will be drawn like this. The vector AB, which is your, gives you the magnitude of this velocity, which is nothing but your angular velocity multiplied by the radius or the length of the link, which is capital AB. Right. So simply the relation gives you the linear velocity equal to radius into angular velocity omega. Right, this is the relation between the linear velocity and angular velocity. So for an input link which is known as crank, why we are call it as a crank means crank will have 360 degree of rotation, continuous rotation. In any link, if you want to say a particular link as a crank, it should have a 360 degree of rotation. So in simple mechanism, we have to know what is meant by simple mechanism and what is meant by compound mechanism. So simple mechanism is nothing but we are having 4 links. So minimum of 4 links is required to for a simple mechanism. If a mechanism having greater than 4 links, it is called as compound mechanism. So if you study our unit number 1, Grashoff's law, which says sum of the shortest and longest length must be less than or equal to sum of the other 2 links. Right? This mechanism is used to find out the different inversions of a mechanism. If for example S plus L less than P plus Q means we will be having 3 types of motion. So first one is crank rocker mechanism, then double crank mechanism, then double rocker mechanism. So in crank rocker and double rocker we will be having crank, but in double rocker all the links are having rocker mechanism. Rocker means oscillates only, there is no full rotation links are present there. So like that we have to differentiate. For example, the second, if you take length of shortest link plus longest link equal to P plus Q, so the link will be having double crank mechanism. So which is used in our locomotives. So locomotives driving wheel and trailing wheel are one type of inversion of this mechanism. So whenever we are calculating the relative velocity, the input link value must be known. The input velocity, especially the crank, they will be provided with the speed. So from the speed we have to calculate the omega. We know the omega equal to 2 pi n by 60. So 2 pi n by 60. So the speed of your input link will be provided on the problem, right? So hence the velocity of any point on a link with respect to another point on the same link is always perpendicular to the line joining these points, right? So the velocity will be acting perpendicular, especially the direction of your angular velocity. If it is in clockwise direction, the velocity will be perpendicular like this. If it is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, the velocity will be in this direction, right? So next one is your rubbing velocity. So rubbing velocity is nothing but the two links are joined by using pin joint. You can see O, we have a pin joint. All the links in a mechanism, especially 4-bar and slider crank mechanism, will be joined using this pin joint. In the pin joint, we will be encountered with some friction due to the rubbing of two links. So if we are need to calculate this rubbing velocity, so we have to use the formula of omega 1 minus omega 2 into r. So which is nothing but V is equal to omega into r. So instead of omega, we are having two links. So omega 1 and omega 2. So that's why the formula is converted to like this. If we are having the negative sign which indicates the links are moving in a same direction or links are rotating in a same direction. If we are having a positive sign, the links are moving in opposite direction, right? So what happens if the pins are connected to the fixed point? For example, if you take 4-bar mechanism like this, so here we are having one pin joint and here we are having one pin joint and here we are having another one. So there are 4 joints are there. So link number 1 may be fixed. So here we are having 2 omega. So for example, it is rotating like this, it is rotating like this, and it is rotating like this. For example, if it for the pin 1, 2, 3 and 4, for pin 2 and 3 we are having 2 types of links, 2 links are there, but in 1 and 4 one link is fixed. So for this we will be having omega into r. So the omega of this input link, then radius of this pin. So here the small r represent the radius of the pin, right? Omega will be the angular velocity of turning member. For example, if you take this pin joint, the one member is fixed. So for that we can go for omega into r. So whichever member is rotating, we have to take that angular velocity. So this is your rubbing velocity at the pin joint. So next we will see a problem, simple mechanism, which is a 4-bar mechanism. So the given data is provided with a 4-bar chain ABCD. So AD is fixed. So this is your AD, which is fixed link, and the length is given 150 mm long. The crank AB is at 40 mm long and rotates at 120 rpm clockwise, while the link CD 80 mm oscillate about D, and BC and AD are of equal length. Find the angular velocity of CD when angle BAD is 60 degree. So in this problem, the space diagram is not given with your given data, so we have to draw the link. So initially it is a 4-bar chain. So they will be providing you with 150 mm long, yeah. So we have to draw a line with 150 mm, and we know the angle which is 60 degree. So if you see in the given data, the angle BAD is equal to 60 degree. So we know that BAD, it's a acute angle 60 degree. So I have to draw an angle of line of 40 mm with an angle of 60 degree. So I can draw a line with the help of the protractor and scale. Then after that, so this is our fixed link, and this is your crank, and this is your crank which is rotating in clockwise direction. So which is rotating in clockwise direction. So another link we have to draw by using a compass, and we have to join these points to get the space diagram. So the space diagram will be like this. This is your AD which is fixed. So this is our A and D fixed, and AB is your crank, and BC is your connecting rod. So this is my speed. So initially we have to draw a configuration diagram like this. Now for this configuration diagram, we have to draw the velocity diagram. For that I need the velocity of my input link AB. So this is my input link, I need a velocity. So we know velocity of AB equal to, so omega of AB into distance of or length of AB, capital AB. So this is my formula. So I need to calculate the linear velocity by using this formula. Right. So the velocity of AB is nothing but velocity of BA or velocity of B, which is nothing but 0.503 meter per second. So already we have calculated here. You can see from speed n, I have to calculate the omega, which is nothing but 2 pi n by 60. So 12.56 radian per second. Then we can, by using this omega value, substitute here, and we can calculate the value of velocity. So which is nothing but 0.503 meter per second. So I have to draw the velocity diagram as the input of velocity of B. So now I have to convert this 5.3 meter per second into centimeter, then only we have to draw the velocity diagram. So we know that 1 centimeter equal to, I can take 0.1 meter per second. So for 0.503 I will be having 5.03 centimeter length line I have to draw. So I have to draw a perpendicular line, right? So perpendicular means it should be having a 90 degree line. So that will be having the velocity of AB. So by using a drafter scale or by using a scale, I can draw a perpendicular like this. So I can take the line anywhere on your drawing sheet. So this is your velocity of A and velocity of B, point AB. So A is your fixed point which is having 0 velocity. Then from AB, so I am drawing a velocity line which is velocity of AB. Then after that, for the link B and C and link C and D, I don't know the magnitude of that velocity. Already we studied in force, which has to be represented with your magnitude and direction and the point of application or point of application. So we need these three factors to represent the force. So already we completed the perpendicular line for A and B. Then B and C, we don't know the magnitude, we don't know the point of application, but we know the direction. So which is nothing but perpendicular to this BC and perpendicular to this CD, right? So the perpendicular line may be, we can draw upwards or downwards, right? This depends on our velocity diagram. For example, so velocity of B I have drawn like this. You can see, so velocity of AB like this. Now I have to draw the velocity of BC, which is perpendicular line. So I can draw like this. And for CD, so this is my perpendicular line. Already we fixed a point A which is having 0 velocity, and B which is also fixed, so it is also having 0 velocity. So fixed points must be present in a single point which is having 0 velocity. So fixed points are having 0 velocity. Now I have to draw a perpendicular line which is representing this CD from the point D, right? So maybe you can draw like this. So this point will be representing as C. So I have drawn BC in this direction, I have drawn DC in this direction. So this is how we have to complete the arrow. So we know the point B, some point B only we have drawn this line for BC, and from D only I have drawn this line DC. So this is how this diagram has been completed here. You can see the velocity diagram for this 4-bar mechanism. Now I have located the point C. So velocity of CB will be the length of this BC line or length of this vector BC, and velocity of CD will be the vector CD or DC. So I have to measure this length and I have to multiply with my scale factor to get the linear velocity. So from this linear velocity I can calculate the angular velocity omega CD, which is nothing but velocity of CD divided by length of CD. So 0.385 divided by 0.08, which is nothing but 4.8 radian per second. So this is how we have to calculate the velocity of different links in mechanism. For example, I have calculated the velocity of CD. Similarly, I can calculate the velocity of BC, which is nothing but your vector BC, which is in the this distance. So I can measure the distance and I have to multiply it with my scale factor, then I will be having a value in meter per second. If we are not multiplying that with the scale factor, the value will be in centimeter only. So from that linear velocity I can calculate angular velocity omega BC equal to, so velocity of BC divided by distance of BC, capital BC. So in a space diagram or configuration diagram we have to represent all the points as capital A, B, C, D, but in velocity polygon we have to go with smaller case letter, and for acceleration diagram we have to go for A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash like that. So this is for our convenient only, don't bother about these notations, since we are having our own method of drawing this velocity and acceleration diagram. So the value maybe not exactly come 0.385, so it may differ if we are using based on the accuracy of our drawing instruments, the diagrams may differ, right? So this is how we have to draw the velocity diagram for velocity analysis for the given 4 bar mechanism, where we have to draw the perpendicular lines for each and every links. In a simple word, we have to draw the perpendicular line for links. What about the slider? So if you are having a slider crank mechanism, for a slider, the slider will be sliding on the axis. So we have to draw a parallel line. So for a slider, we have to draw the parallel line for the velocity diagram also, for acceleration diagram also. The slider will having the reciprocating motion. That reciprocating motion is parallel to the axis. So whether the axis is in horizontal direction, we have to draw the horizontal line. Whether the slider is sliding in a vertical direction, we have to draw a vertical line. If a slider is sliding in a inclined way like this, so we have to draw a parallel line to this axis of reciprocation. So next problem, we have to solve for the single slider crank mechanism. The crank and connecting rod of a theoretical steam engine are 0.5 meter and 2 meter long. So this is your crank and this is your connecting rod. They are provided with the value. The crank makes 180 rpm in the clockwise direction. The given data, they have to provided with direction of rotation of the crank. Otherwise, we have to assume. So without the direction of rotation of the crank, we cannot draw the velocity diagram. Since the velocity of a crank represents the rotation. For example, here it is making 180 rpm in the clockwise direction. So this is our crank. So we have to take the omega or speed n is equal to 180 rpm in this direction. Then velocity will be perpendicular to this link like this. So this is our perpendicular direction, right? So for this we need to know the velocity of the or the direction of rotation of the crank. So when it has turned 45 degree from the inner dead center position, so we know that for inner dead center, outer dead center mentioned means the engine will be a horizontal engine. If top dead center and bottom dead center is mentioned, so it's a vertical engine. So if it is mentioned with the inner dead center and outer dead center, we have to draw for the. So when the crank has turned 45 degree from inner dead center, so this is our angle 45 degree from inner dead center. Determine the velocity of piston and angular velocity of the connecting rod and velocity of point E on the connecting rod 1.5 meter from the Gudgeon pin. So we know Gudgeon pin is used to fix the piston with the connecting rod. So this is your point G, which is away from velocity of point E, which is connecting rod 1.5 meter from the Gudgeon pin. So this is the velocity of point E, which is away from 1.5 meter from the piston. Then velocity of rubbing at the pins of the crankshaft, crank and crosshead, and the diameters of the pins are 50, 60 and 30 mm. So we know we have a pin joint here and we have another pin joint here and another pin joint at this, nothing but your Gudgeon pin. So we are having 3 pin joints. So they are placed at crankshaft, crank and crosshead. So they are provided with the radius of those 3 points. Then fifth one, position and linear velocity of any point G and the connecting rod which has least velocity related to crankshaft. So we know that where we are having a least velocity of the, so which velocity is having least velocity? In a diagram, in a point, which velocity will have a least velocity? So if you are having a perpendicular line related to the crankshaft will having the least velocity. So which is determined by drawing a perpendicular from O. So we have to draw a perpendicular from O to this BP line will give you the least velocity line. So here you can see, so from O we have to draw a perpendicular line to this BP. So this point will be having the perpendicular line, right? So this is how we have to draw. Right, first of all we have to draw the space diagram for the given mechanism. So for that, first I have to draw an axis. From this axis I have to draw take the 45 degree from inner dead center. So I have to mark the crank, so which is 45 degree from the inner dead center. Then by taking the compass I have to mark I have to take 2 meter as a radius from this point by using a compass. By using the compass I need to mark an point which is having 2 meter of radius from the crank. So this is our crank and this is our connecting rod. So this is my 2 meter crank and this is my 2 meter for connecting rod and 0.5 meter for my crank. My space diagram will be like this. So this is my rotation of the crank. The velocity will be acting in this direction perpendicular to this crank. So this will be O, A, B. So my piston will be here. So my piston will be here. So this is my velocity of OA, right? So this is how I have to draw for the velocity diagram. Then after that I need to go for velocity diagram. So for that we need the velocity of your crank, so which is nothing but OB. So direction of this velocity will be in this direction. So the magnitude I have to calculate omega BO. So we know the speed 180. So we have to substitute 2 pi into 180 divided by 60. So which is nothing but 18.82 radian per second. So for velocity of BO, so omega BO into distance OB. So already it is provided in our given data. So which is nothing but 0.5. Then multiply these two terms to get our linear velocity of crank BO, which is nothing but 9.426 meter per second. So with a scale factor I have to draw a horizontal line like this. The value of this line will be so I have to draw a line perpendicular to the link OB. So in space I have to fix a point which is nothing but my fixed point O, which is having 0 velocity. So from this point I have to draw a perpendicular line which is representing the velocity of OB, small b, then small o. So I have drawn the line like this, which is representing velocity of BO. Right? So I have drawn the velocity of BO. The value will be 9.426. So scale factor I can take 1 centimeter equal to 1 meter per second. Right? After that I have to draw a perpendicular. The second link will be my connecting rod. I have to draw a perpendicular line from B. So this is my perpendicular line. So from B I have to draw a perpendicular line like this. I don't know where I have to fix the point P. So first of all we have to draw a crank perpendicular, then connecting rods perpendicular, which is directed towards downwards. Then after that we have a slider which is sliding in the horizontal axis. So for this slider which is fixed at a point, so this point will be having velocity of 0. So I have to draw a horizontal line from the fixed point only. So this is my fixed point O. I have to draw a horizontal line. So this point will be my P. Right. So now I have located the piston P and connecting rod B and crank OB. So I have drawn line like this. Here I have drawn line in the downward direction. Right. So now we have to measure the magnitude of these 2 points by using the scale. After that I have to multiply it my scale factor to get the exact value of velocity in meter per second. If I measure this, the value from with the scale, the value will be in centimeter. After that whenever I am going to multiply it with my scale factor, then only it will be converted into meter per second. Then now we have a point, we have to find out the velocity at point E on the connecting rod, which is 1.5 meter distance from the Gudgeon pin. So this is my Gudgeon pin, from this it is 1.5 meter. For that I have to use the formula. So which is nothing but the distance BE divided by the distance BP. So distance BE, this is my BE distance, and after that the total distance of this connecting rod BP, which will be equal to small BE divided by small BP. Small BP. So this small letters representing the velocity diagram, the capital letters which is representing the space diagram. So we know the distance between the capital BE, which is nothing but 0.5. So here we are having 0.5 divided by 2, that is equal to, we know the distance of BP, which can be measured from the scale in velocity diagram. So that may be having, for example, I am taking this as 1 centimeter. So the remaining will be small BE. So I can easily found out. Right. So I have to locate the distance of this B from E at the velocity diagram. Alright. So this is my So BE will be located from small b to capital this line. So this is my point E. I have to draw a dotted line to this point E to represent velocity of E. Then after that I have to calculate the velocities of rubbing at the different points. So at the point velocity of rubbing at B, we will be having omega of connecting rod plus omega of crank multiplied by the radius of B will be 16. And here for this point, so velocity of pin joint at O will be omega of my crank multiplied with the radius of my crankshaft, which is nothing but crankshaft pin, crank pin 50. Then for this point I have to multiply with omega of connecting rod multiplied with radius of this pin or crosscut pin, which is nothing but 30. So from these three equations I can find out the velocity of rubbing of the pin. Then after that I have to find out the position of linear velocity of any point G on the connecting rod which has least velocity related to crankshaft. So for that we have to draw a perpendicular line from this BP. So from this BP I have to draw a perpendicular. So we know that perpendicular will be 90 degree. So I have to draw a perpendicular line. We will be having only one point. To this fixed point O, we will be having perpendicular at the point G. So from this point O, I have to draw a dotted line like this to find out the velocity of G. So we have to measure the distance between OG to calculate the velocity of G. Similarly, I have to measure the distance of OE to find out the velocity of E. Right? So this is how we have to calculate the velocity of the point E, which is away from this BE. So similarly we have to find out the distance small BE with the formula relative distance between the 2 points. And then the point G, which is nothing but whenever we draw a perpendicular from BP to fixed point, it will be having the minimum velocity or least velocity. So that point we have located here. Right. So this is the value of the velocity of B and velocity of the piston. So which is nothing but the distance, horizontal distance where we measured at the velocity diagram. Right. So this is our simple mechanisms. So this is your 4-bar mechanism and this is your Schrader crank mechanism, and this is your compound mechanism, which is called as a toggle mechanism, where we are having a 4-bar. Here you can see this is your 4-bar link and this is your slider. So for drawing the velocity diagram, am I audible?
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
audible.
So if you have any doubt up to this, you can.
No doubt, sir. No doubt, sir. Continue, sir.
So after that, we will be having a compound mechanism. For that, we have to find out the velocity and acceleration. See, whenever we see a diagram, then we can observe whether what will be the shape of the velocity. So here you can see the perpendicular line I have to draw like this for the link OA. For link AB, I have to draw a perpendicular, that may be a upwards or downwards. For link BC, I have to draw a perpendicular, that may be upwards or downwards. Then for link BD, I have to draw a perpendicular like this. So that may be upwards or downwards, depends on my configuration. And for slider, I have to draw a horizontal line, that may be like this. So for each and every link, I need to draw a perpendicular. For the input link, I know the direction and I know the magnitude, I know the point of application. Right? For in this configuration, you can take the point O and point C are the fixed points, and D is our slider. Right? If you take D as a slider, then I have to take another point as E to represent this link BE. If I take D as a slider and I have to represent BE as a link. So for the link BE, I have to draw perpendicular like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 perpendicular lines, and we have one parallel lines which is used for drawing the slider. So initially, if you made the diagram like this, then it is very easy for us to locate the or to draw the velocity diagram, right. So I have to repeat the space diagram. So first I have to draw the vertical axis. So from that vertical axis, I need to take 75 degree from this direction to draw the line OA. Right. After the drawing the OA, I have to take the compass. Then for the distance AB, I have to make an arc like this. For distance BC, before that I have to locate the axis, I have to locate the point O and C. So from C, I have to draw a arc like this. Then I have to draw AB and BC. Then after that, I have to draw an axis with a distance of this much horizontal line. So from this point B, I have to measure BD, which is nothing but your 46 mm. So I have to make an arc like this, and I have to draw a line like this. Then I have to fix a slider here. So this is how we have to draw the configuration diagram for this problem. So this is my complex mechanism. So we know the value of omega. So it is provided with our speed n. Then 2 pi n by 60. I have calculated the omega 62.84 radian per second. So from this omega, I have to calculate the linear velocity of the link OA. It will be 1.76 meter per second. So for configuration diagram also, we have to use the scale factor, which is nothing but 1 centimeter equal to 10 mm for this diagram. So whenever we are having a diagram or polygon, we need to focus on the scale factor. So next we need to draw the velocity diagram. So for OA, the velocity will be acting downwards like this. So initially I have to draw the fixed point. So O, C are my fixed point, which is having 0 velocity. So those points are represented in a single point itself. So this is my velocity of A having downwards. So I have to draw velocity of A like this. So A, so this is my downwards. Then after that, AB, I have to draw a perpendicular. It may be in this direction or in this direction, right. So So for BC, I have to draw perpendicular like this. It may be upwards or downwards. You can see here also, if I draw a vertical from for CB, I have to draw a vertical line or perpendicular line from C only. You can see the velocity of B will be coming downwards like this. So it will be in this direction only. If we draw upwards, we cannot close the polygon. So the polygon may not be closed. Now we can see the point A will be here. So I have to draw perpendicular in this direction only. So from point A, I have to draw a perpendicular like this to represent the point B. Right now I have completed the velocity polygon for the 4-bar mechanism. After that we have a link BD. So from B I can draw upwards or downwards. You can see from B I can go for upward or downward, but my slider will be sliding horizontal direction with respect to the fixed point. I know the fixed point OC which is here. So I have to draw a horizontal line from O like this. So my BE, this link perpendicular will be in this direction only. So from point B I have to draw a perpendicular. So it will be cut at a point, that point is represented by D. Right. So this is how we have to complete the velocity diagram for this complex mechanism. So now if you want to calculate the velocity of D, then I have to measure this vector distance from here to here. So if you measure and multiply with the scale factor, you will be having the value in meter per second. Right. So in this problem we have to find out the angular velocity of the link BD. So this is my link BD. So I have to measure this distance with the scale, then I have to multiply it with my scale factor. We will be having velocity in meter per second. So this is the value of my velocity, which is nothing but 1.7 meter per second. So for getting the angular velocity of BD, so velocity of BD divided by the length, which will give you the angular velocity of BD, which is nothing but 36.96 radian per second. So you can see in omega we are represented with clockwise about B, and here also they will be representing the omega value with respect to the direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. So that is with respect to B. If you draw a line like this, it will be rotating in clockwise direction only. You can see the point B is here, the movement will be in this direction, so it will be rotating in clockwise direction. So that's what mentioned, but we have to mention it is clockwise about the point B. If it is having direction in this direction, so it will be rotating anti-clockwise direction about B. So we have to represent the value of omega in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction like this. So this is the method of finding out the velocity and acceleration, velocity of simple and compound mechanism. So next on another important problem, which is nothing but your coincident point or quick return mechanism. You can see it's a Crank slotted link quick return mechanism, where this slider will having a rotary motion. You can see the slider will slide in this slot, and also it will be having rotary motion with respect to the crank, right. So this point B is called as coincident point, right. So the quick return mechanism will be having the coincident point. Here you can see the point B at a point, but we are having a velocity for that B. That velocity is called as coincident velocity, right, that we will be seeing in this problem. So we have to draw the space diagram first. So first of all we have to draw O1 and O2. So axis will be drawn like this. You can see O1 and O2 800 mm. After that the angle O1B makes an angle of 45 degree with the vertical. So with the vertical I have to draw an angle 45 degree. Then I have to draw this line. So O1B at a distance of 300 mm. So here I can take scale factor 1 centimeter equal to 100 mm. So for 3 centimeter I have to draw this line at an angle of 45 degree, right. So I have located this point. So now I have to draw O2D, which is having a length of 1300 meter. So whenever I am going to draw this point O2D, the line should be touching the extreme end or touching the point B. So from O to B I have to draw this line which is touching B at the point. So from this point I have to make an axis. So from this axis I have to go for another 200 centimeter. You can see the distance between the point D and the slider D is 200 mm. So I have to draw another line like this. So from this D I have to locate this point at a distance of dr, which is nothing but 400 mm. So from this D I have to mark an arc on the horizontal axis like this. So after the arc I have to draw this line dr. So like that we have to complete this configuration diagram. Then after that I need to calculate the velocity of my input link. So O1B is my velocity of the crank. So the given data is provided with my speed 40 rpm in counterclockwise direction. So it will be rotating in this counterclockwise direction. The velocity will be perpendicular to this line. So perpendicular to this point. So the velocity of VO1 will be perpendicular to this point. So before that I have to fix the point O1 and O2. So which is having 0 velocity. So this point will be my O1 and O2. So I have to draw the perpendicular velocity of B. So from this point I have to draw the perpendicular line VB. This will be having the value of 1.26 meter per second, which is calculated by using the formula omega equal to 2 pi n by 60. Then velocity V equal to omega into input link. Then after that we have to draw a perpendicular to this link O2D, right. So for O2D I have to draw a perpendicular, but I don't know where I have to locate the point D, right. First I have to draw a perpendicular line for O2D from point O2. So this is my line O2D. I don't know where I have to locate the point D because we don't know the magnitude of this velocity. Then after that we know the point B on a crank. So this is my coincident point which is having a rotary motion and also reciprocating motion. So for that rotary motion, the link O to D will be rotary motion. For that I have drawn a velocity, but the point B will be having a sliding motion on the link O to D. For that I need to draw a parallel line with respect to this O to D from the point B. So already I have located the point B. From that point B I have to draw a parallel line which is parallel to this O to D to locate the point C. Right? So this point BC will having a sliding motion. The link O to D will having the rotary motion. Okay. So this BC will having the sliding motion. So I have located the point C on the link O to D. Now by using the relative distance method, O to C divided by O to D on the space diagram, which is equal to O to C divided by O to D small case on the velocity diagram. So we know the distance O to D, which is nothing but 1300, and O to B I can measure by using the scale after drawing the space diagram, right. So for example, if it is coming around 800, right. So O to C, I know the distance, I have to measure it. So this is my O to C in the velocity diagram. For example, it is coming around 6 centimeter. Then I have to find out the distance of O to D. So take the ratio of this one and multiplied or divided with to get the value of O to D. So obviously it will be coming around 8 centimeter or 9 centimeter like that. So from O to the line I have to locate the point at 8 centimeter only. So this is my O to D distance. So I have located the point D. So after I located the point D, I have to draw a perpendicular, right, for the link DR. I have to draw a perpendicular from the point D. So this is my perpendicular line, and I have to draw a horizontal line. So since the slider is sliding in a horizontal axis, so from the fixed point I have to draw a parallel line to locate the point R. So for a quick return mechanism only, we will be having the coincident points, right. So this is my coincident point, right. So B will be on the crank OB, C will be on O to D. So the B and C we will be having a velocity. You can see the B, C we are having a velocity, but both B and C points are on the single point in the space diagram. But in velocity diagram it is having a velocity, that is due to the coincident point. So this point will have a sliding motion on the link, and also it will be having a rotary motion. So whenever a point having a sliding and a rotary motion, it will be called as coincident point. For a coincident point only we are calculating the Coriolis acceleration. So that's why we are studying the coincident point or quick return mechanism velocity calculation to find out the Coriolis component of the mechanism. So next, acceleration analysis. So in velocity analysis we have drawn perpendicular to the link. So this is my omega, means the velocity will be perpendicular to the link. If the direction of omega in clockwise, the velocity will be in this direction. If it is in anti-clockwise direction, the velocity will be in this direction. But for acceleration, we will be having linear acceleration, angular acceleration, radial acceleration and tangential acceleration. Similarly, for velocity, we are having linear velocity and angular velocity. For a single link, we are having these 4 types of acceleration, and we will see what is the direction of this acceleration. So initially, for having we need to calculate the linear and tangential acceleration for a given mechanism. What is mean by linear radial acceleration? What is mean by tangential acceleration? So radial means which is parallel to the link. Radial, or sometimes it is referred as centripetal. Centripetal acceleration. So centripetal force is always directed towards the center of rotation. If it is away from the center, it is called as centrifugal. It is towards the center, it is called as centripetal acceleration. Then tangential acceleration will be perpendicular to the link. You can see here, this is our link. The centripetal acceleration will be parallel, then radial acceleration will be perpendicular. The direction of this perpendicular is equal to my velocity. So while drawing the acceleration diagram, the direction of velocity will be same as the direction of my tangential acceleration. Right? For example, now I have to draw the radial acceleration for a particular link and tangential acceleration of the particular link. So this is my radial and this is my tangential. The line closing the polygon side, or line used to close the polygon, will be the linear acceleration of the particular link. The closing side of that polygon represents the linear acceleration. So this is my linear acceleration. So the component of this linear acceleration will be my radial acceleration and tangential acceleration. Right? So another one is angular acceleration. The formula will be alpha is equal to a tangential divided by length of the link. We will be seeing the formula. You can see radial tangential acceleration is equal to alpha into length of the link. Radial acceleration is nothing but omega square into length of the link. So this formula comes from alpha equal to a tangential divided by length. Right? So this is a tangential divided by link angular acceleration. So these are the two formulas, radial acceleration and tangential acceleration. So we can see centripetal or radial component and tangential component. So centripetal or radial component actually it is represented in with respect to velocity. So tangent component is parallel to velocity but perpendicular to link. Then centripetal or radial component is perpendicular to the velocity but parallel to the link. Right? Don't get confused. So radial component is perpendicular to the velocity but parallel to the link. Tangential components are parallel to the velocity and perpendicular to the link. So we have to draw the link or acceleration diagram with respect to any one, whether we are following the velocity polygon or whether we are following the configuration diagram. If we are following the velocity polygon, we have to draw with respect to this. If we are following the configuration diagram, we have to follow this method. Right? we will see a problem to how the velocity and acceleration are calculated. So first of all, we have to study the given data. In the given data, we are provided with the value of alpha, which is nothing but our angular acceleration. The alpha is provided in the given data, means the input link. So this is our input link. This is nothing but crank BC or CB will be having both radial and tangential acceleration. So in the given data, if we are provided with the value of angular acceleration for the input link, you can see the crankshaft has a speed of 75 radian per second and angular acceleration of 1200 radian per second square. If this value is provided in the given data, so we will be having radial and tangential component for input link or crank. Otherwise, if the alpha value is not provided, so the tangential acceleration is not present for the input link or crank. So for remaining links, we will be having both radial and tangential acceleration, but for the input link, if the alpha value is provided, then only we can have the value of tangential component, otherwise just leave it. So we will be having only one acceleration, which is nothing but radial acceleration. Right. So we know how to calculate the how to draw the velocity diagram. So first we have to calculate the linear velocity of the input link BC. So this link is rotating in clockwise anti-clockwise direction. So velocity will be perpendicular to this link like this. So this is my velocity of B. So from B I have to draw a perpendicular line. So the line will be drawn like this. I don't know the position of A. To find out the position of A, I have to draw a horizontal line for this slider. So from C, I know the C point is fixed point. So from C, I have to draw a horizontal line to locate the point A. Right. So this is how we have drawn the point A and B. So G is nothing but center of gravity, which is 100 mm from B. So from this B, it is 100 mm. We know the distance of BA is nothing but 300. So by itself it has seen. So this total distance is 300 mm. So 1/3 we are having the distance BG. Similarly, we can locate the point. We have to calculate the distance of AB and divided by 3, it will be getting you the point of G. So 1:3. Like that we can locate the point of center of gravity G like that. Then we have to draw a dotted line from the fixed point to find out the velocity of this G. Right. So velocity diagram is simple as such. Now for going for the acceleration diagram, we have to calculate the value of radial acceleration and tangential acceleration. Right. So radial acceleration, we know the formula. For tangential acceleration, this is our formula. So radial acceleration v square divided by length, tangential acceleration. So your alpha in multiplied with the distance. So you can take a tabular column like this. So for the link AB, the value of velocity, the value of radial acceleration, the value of tangential acceleration, and for the link BA, this is my value of velocity and radial acceleration and tangential acceleration. So here the tangential acceleration we have to find out. So first I have to draw radial acceleration of my input link, which is nothing but 562.5 meter per second square, and tangential acceleration of 120. So how to draw a velocity? Sorry, I have to draw an acceleration polygon. Initially I have to randomly fix a point. So this point is C dash. So from this point I have to draw, first we have to draw radial acceleration, which is parallel to the link BC. The direction is towards the center C, right? Radial acceleration always directed towards the center of rotation. So this is my link BC, so this is my center C, then my radial acceleration will be directed to, the direction will be downwards to this center C. So I have to draw a parallel line. You can see this dotted line which represents the radial acceleration of your link BC. So I have to draw a line which is parallel to this BC. So this is my radial acceleration. The value will be 562.5. Right? After that, I have to draw a perpendicular. Right? So perpendicular line will be my tangential acceleration, which is 120 meter per second square. So this is my tangential acceleration. I need to draw the perpendicular line. So for that, I have to draw a perpendicular line. So the line may be this direction or this direction. So now we have to see the velocity diagram. We know the velocity will be perpendicular and the tangential acceleration is also perpendicular. So I have to take the direction of this velocity b parallel to this link. So I have to draw this direction only. So here I have drawn downwards, and here for this tangential acceleration I have to refer the velocity diagram. Here you can see the direction will be in the direction. So parallel line I have to draw like this. So I have located the point B dash. Now I need to join C dash and B dash. So this line will be my linear acceleration of BC. So next one for the link BA. So first I have to draw the radial acceleration. So I have to find out, so this will be in parallel to this line, the direction will be towards B, right, directed towards B. So from this point B I have to draw a line in this direction. So the value of this line will be 53.3 meter per second square, right. So from this B I have to draw a line parallel to, so it is 53.3, so it will be covering a small distance like this. So this is my radial acceleration of BA. So now I have to draw a perpendicular line to represent the tangential acceleration from this point. So for drawing the tangential acceleration I am going to refer the velocity diagram, velocity of AB, so which is in this direction, you can see here. So I have to draw a perpendicular line like this. I don't know where I am going to meet the point. So this is my tangential acceleration for BA. So this is my radial acceleration of BA. So this is radial and this is tangential I have drawn. Then after that we are having a slider which is sliding in horizontal axis from the fixed point, you can see here. So from the fixed point I have to draw a straight line, horizontal line. It will be touching my tangential acceleration of BA at this point. So I have located the point A dash. So from this A dash I have to draw a line to B, continuous line. So this will be my linear acceleration of AB, and this is the acceleration of slider A, right? So this is how we have to draw the acceleration polygon for the given problem. So initially we should concentrate whether the given data is provided with my angular acceleration alpha for the input link. If it is not provided means, so we don't need to draw this line. So this will be my okay, this will be my acceleration polygon. If the value of alpha is not provided, so you can consider this will be my total acceleration, right? Okay, if you have any doubt up to this, can raise your doubts. So for velocity polygon, we have to draw the perpendicular lines. For acceleration polygon, we have to go for two acceleration. One is radial acceleration and another one is tangential acceleration. For radial acceleration, we have to draw parallel line. For tangential acceleration, we have to draw the perpendicular line. So if you have any queries, you can raise.
Thank you so much, sir. Very good presentation and teaching, sir. Dear faculty members, you have any queries or doubts regarding the velocity and the acceleration diagram of the linkage elements? Please ask to our external person. Students, dear faculties. Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Please.
Sir, we are going to find the radial components and the normal components. Okay, sir.
Okay.
If you are using to find only radial consideration is not enough for making any linkages, sir.
No, actually the input, for example, in given data, if we are provided with the value of alpha, then we will be having the tangential components. If they are not provided with the alpha value, means we will having enough to calculate the radial components itself. So it is enough, the total acceleration will be of radial components, since the value of tangential will be very, very minimum when compared to radial acceleration.
That's why I'm asking, sir.
Okay.
But theta, how it is the effect of theta value, sir? That is the inclination of the crosslink.
Actually, for example, in our first problem in connecting rod mechanism, the theta value will be perpendicular. Whenever the theta value of velocity in velocity diagram, the angle will be perpendicular to the particular link. There, our velocity will be least velocity. Okay. We are drawing a configuration diagram for that instant. For example, at theta equal to 60 degree, at that instant, we are calculating the velocity and acceleration. If the theta value increases to 61 degree, the value will be changing.
Okay, sir.
So at a particular time, what will be the velocity we are calculating?
But there is no direct relationship between angle of inclination to radial and axial component, yes, sir?
இருக்கு அது என்னன்னா அந்த தீட்டாவோட வேல்யூ 60 இருக்கும்போது நம்ம வேல்யூ இதுதான் நம்ம ஆடம்ஸ் வியூன்னு சொல்லி நம்ம ஒரு சாஃப்ட்வேர் இருக்கு எம்எஸ்சியில்.
ஓகே.
எம்எஸ்சி ஆடம்ஸ் வியூ ஏ வியூன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. தட் சாஃப்ட்வேர் இஸ் யூஸ்டு டு கால்குலேட் த வெலாசிட்டி அண்ட் ஆக்சிலரேஷன் ஆஃப் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் லிங்க்ஸ். இப்போ நம்ம இங்கே டிராயிங் பண்ணுறத நம்ம அங்கே பர்டிகுலராக தீட்டா வேல்யூ சேஞ்ச் ஆகுது தான் ஆப்டிமைஸ் பண்ணலாம். நம்ம தீட்டா வேல்யூ 0 இருக்குது 360 டிகிரி வரைக்கும் சேஞ்ச் ஆகும்போது வாட் வில் பி த வெலாசிட்டி அண்ட் ஆக்சிலரேஷன் ஆஃப் லிங்க் அப்படிங்கிறது இட்ஸ் அ கப்ளர் கர்வ் சிந்தசிஸ் அப்படின்னு ஒரு டாபிக் இருக்குது பெருசாக. நம்ம எம்இ படிக்கும்போது நம்ம படிச்சிருப்போம். அதில் வந்து இதுதான் இருக்குது
அட்வான்ஸ்டு லிங்கேஜஸ்.
ஆமாம், அதெல்லாம் நம்ம கப்ளர் கர்வ் சிந்தசிஸ் தான் இந்த பேசிக் இது. அப்போ நம்ம தீட்டா வேல்யூ சேஞ்ச் ஆகும்போது வாட் வில் பி வெலாசிட்டிங்க நம்ம எலிமெண்டலாக படிக்கிறோம். பட் அங்கே போகும்போது we have to go for a coupler curve synthesis.
So அப்ப நம்ம ஆப்டிமைசேஷன் அதுல ஈஸியா பண்ணலாம் சார். எந்த ஆங்கிள் வந்து be getting more and which angle is to be very less.
Effective length, கால்குலேட் சிந்தசிஸ் ஆஃப் லிங்கேஜ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதில் எஃபெக்டிவ் லென்த் எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறோன்னா இந்த ஆப்டிமைஸ் பண்ணி தான் நம்ம கால்குலேட் பண்ணோம்.
Thank you so much, sir. Very wonderful presentation in today's FTP, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We will meet you shortly, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, dear faculty members. Now the first session is to be over. Be ready for the second session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
ஆர்மம் சார்.
சார் சொல்லுங்க சார்.
ஓகே சார், மீட்டிங் எண்ட் பண்ணிடலாங்களா?
நான் குவிட் பண்ணிடுறேன் சார். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ. ஆர்மம் சார்.
சார் சொல்லுங்க.
ரெக்கார்டிங் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணி க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுங்க.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார். எஸ் சார், ஸ்டாப்டு.